Hey, secondhand soul fans. Hey, secondhand soul fans. It's me, your friendly neighborhood soul man, Lyle Dynamite Miller, and I'm here with
the birthday girl, Kathy Fern.
Woohoo!
And the sax man, Dave Drower. How's it going out there?
How we doing out there, everybody? And that's right, you heard it right. Today is Kathy Fern's birthday.
Yep, right.
That
That blues in A minor. You know, I'm not going to say the song. I'm not
Yeah.
going to say the song, but yeah, we got birthday drinks.
That's right.
Yep.
Yes.
We always got
Yeah.
drinks, but now they're just birthday drinks.
Yeah. Because it's the birthday today.
I got the big glass.
Yeah,
yeah.
now we've had COVID hit every single one of our birthdays, you know.
Yeah,
I thought for sure it was only going to be mine ruined, but
I know, right?
Hey, Lyle's was
You know,
what?
back in March, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be fine. That's gonna be
Yeah.
all good by then. Oh my God.
Hopefully by the time Jesus' birthday roll around, we'll be okay.
I'll drink to that.
Is that Christmas? Is that what that's supposed to be? Okay. Okay.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Right.
You know,
Right, for the people that have no clue what
Yeah.
you're talking about,
yeah.
I might have thought that was Easter. I don't know. I get them confused sometimes. It's all
No,
right.
that's fair.
Don't judge. Don't judge. It's
Oh,
all
no,
good.
not at all.
It's a
So today's
celebration.
show, today we're here at episode 12 of the Secondhand Soul Band Show, and we got quite a lineup today. We're going to be talking about over underrated. We got a superstar, male superstar from the 80s and 90s. And then we're going to talk about little venue news, very little. And Soul Lives On, we got a special dedication today. And then I'm going to talk about music and the movies. And of course, it wouldn't be Sunday unless Dave was going off, or Monday, or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or today, Wednesday.
Maybe not Friday.
No, Friday counts
Dave
too.
will go off.
That's all right.
It's inevitable, and we have the camera here
Yeah,
now, so
yeah,
that's
yeah,
part of the show.
yeah. I just need the topic, and this one.
I
it fell in my
yeah.
lap.
People with you,
Stay
Dave.
tuned. Stay tuned for
Fell
that.
in my lap. Oh yes.
Yep.
All right.
Stay
So
tuned for that.
first up, let's do it.
All right. Well, we don't have any venue news.
Fantastic.
Unfortunately, end of segment. There's nothing to talk about. People are still not wearing masks and not being responsible, and the numbers are creeping up. And
Yeah,
Lori put her foot
Chicago.
down again, and
Chicago's
There you go.
on the warning list now. Cook County
Yeah.
just hit, and
Illinois had the third highest total
Ooh.
number of new cases today.
it was
Yeah,
like
guys.
1900 for a Sunday. It does
Not
not
good.
seem good. No. Usually Sundays were the low days.
Yep.
And yeah, we did 4 million tests, but oh
Yeah.
boy.
We can do this, guys. We can do this. We got to
Oh,
hang in
boy.
there.
Right.
but
good.
until,
It's gonna get
until
cold
the
outside
venues
soon.
are back, this
Yeah.
is what we get. So this is
Yep.
this is all you get of us. So please, we've seen so many people lately that are like, "When are you guys gonna play again?" It's like, "When are you gonna wear your mask?"
Right. Yeah.
No, nothing against our fans. I'm sure our fans are super responsible. I'm not
I'm
saying
certain.
Definitely. But hey,
Certainly.
we
all
know
those other bands fans, they're not paying attention.
we know
Yeah.
people close to the band that have gotten COVID,
Mm-hmm.
and they've been very, very, very protective. So it's not necessarily that you could do all the right things and still get it. It's a pandemic,
Yeah.
but then of
It's
course there's
invisible. You don't know.
right.
Yeah.
Like you see people that you like and that you miss, and then you're like, well, that person doesn't want to hurt me, so they're not going to give me COVID. Guess what? They don't know they have it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Especially people in my age group, or I guess a little
Mhm.
younger, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. And one way to
Yeah.
be certain and to certainly keep each other safe, or the best chance we
Lockdown.
have, is to keep our distance, and wear our masks. It's very simple. It's
Yes.
like if you
Yeah.
want to save yourself in a car accident, you wear a seatbelt. It's the same thing. It's
Yep.
a safety precaution.
Well,
And if
it's
we do it right, we'll be right back out there, man, jamming right in front of you
Hey, and
guys.
it's getting a little colder. It'll get a lot easier to wear the mask. I know when it's like 90 degrees out and
True.
it's a lot to ask for in certain situations.
Yeah.
But I haven't been to the bar in like 9 months. It's
I bet they
like,
miss you, Dave.
hey, I don't know. After the first 2 months, and then it's like, not
Yeah.
making money with the band, and yeah, I miss it, but I don't want to go back to the fake. Like
Yeah.
I sort of want to go back when everything's back to the way it's supposed to be.
Full on
Yeah.
open. Yeah. Let's,
Yeah.
get
Yeah,
stuff taken
yeah.
care
Well,
of.
we
don't
have to do it,
worry
and then
about
we'll
it
get back
anymore.
out there, and this will be like a bad nightmare. It'll be like,
Yep.
wow, finally got
Yup.
through this thing.
Remember how fast that time went and all of a sudden it was over?
Yep.
Well, yeah, time goes by fast. All right, let's move on to everyone's. You know what it is. It's everyone's
Oh, yeah.
favorite segment. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, it's time for everybody's favorite.
Woo!
Over underrated. Over underrated is the segment on the Secondhand Soul Band show where we take an artist, we grab that artist, and we decide whether or not that artist is getting worthy praise, if they're overrated, underrated, or getting just the right amount of praise. And today we're talking about who, Dave?
We're talking about Bobby Brown.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. We're talking about Robert Beresford Brown. Bobby Brown.
Right.
Bobby
I can
Brown.
see why they went with Bobby Brown on the stage name.
Yeah.
It flows off the tongue just a little bit better. Like the rapping that he doesn't do, but
Yeah. Bobby Brown's not a rapper.
Right. Thank you, Wikipedia, for that amazing information that you just like dish out. No. He did like one song with a rapper, which is different than being a rapper.
Yeah. Right. Bobby Brown was in New Edition, and Mr. Telephone Man.
Right.
Ralph Tresvant was rapping.
Exactly.
But,
Exactly. Yes.
And
anytime we talk about rap, I always because my kids, they're always like, Mr. D, you listen to rap, and I do listen to some rap, but I always tell them, that's an acronym. Do you know what that stands for? And then they look at me like I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm like, the USA, what is that? United States of America.
Right.
So rap is rhythm accompanied poetry. That's all rap is.
What?
And, yes.
Yeah.
See,
Dave,
Kathy, it's the school of Mr. D.
That's right.
You guys always learn from you. That's awesome. I did not know that.
Yeah.
What is it again?
Rhythm accompanied poetry. And that's why they got a beat, and they got so the part of that's why I'm always like, no, it's not music. And I'm not trying to say it's not art, but music has harmony. So that's like sort of the missing piece. But if you listen to like the old 90s hip hop rap, and they go into the chorus and it's always it's sung, so it's a little different.
I like the older rap, because there is a structure to it. Now you've just explained it to me why.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So
back to Bobby.
Back to over underrated. You want to start? You want me to go? What do you think?
I'll go. Bobby Brown.
Take it away.
I think I'll just start and say Bobby Brown. To me, is terribly underrated now. When he was younger, he probably got the right amount of accolades, but I think he still was a much bigger star than he even got credit for back then. And I think a lot of that was overshadowed by his marriage. But Bobby Brown was a fantastic performer. He was in New Edition. He started out as the lead singer of New Edition. He's like 12, 13 years old. Unbelievable performer. Could sing, dance. I think he produced some music. Humping Around. My Prerogative is his tune. Like the Britney Spears song, My Prerogative, Bobby Brown did that song first. And he did that song because if you listen to the lyrics, he's talking about himself. And when Britney Spears was going through her, how do I say this? Her public drama, I guess, when she was trying to rediscover and reimagine herself, and everybody was in her business about it. She did a remake of My Prerogative, because the same issues were going on with Bobby Brown when he put it out. Stay out of my business, and that was Bobby Brown. But Bobby Brown, people just know about the drug stuff, okay?
Well, the Whitney Houston stuff, it's
the Whitney Houston stuff.
Hey man,
Bobby Brown
it's a big deal.
It's a big deal, but not as big a deal as his talent. Bobby Brown was like a monster performer in the 90s. He was the 90s James Brown.
Wow.
I mean, there was nobody else.
I disagree. There was no 90s James Brown, man. And if it wasn't Bobby Brown.
There was
by any stretch of the imagination. Michael Jackson was doing much bigger things, but
he was 20 years older than Bobby Brown.
Yeah, and at first I sort of thought that he was a little underrated, and then as I go into it, yeah, he had a few hits and he could write some songs, but he definitely got a lot of notoriety. And yes, he got a lot of notoriety because of his wife and all of the drugs, because that took over his life. That sort of overshadowed his music. Now, if we talk about our prized child, Michael Jackson, like his personal life was not exactly, sunshine and roses. Like there was plenty in it, but it would never overtake his music. Like that was just in separate categories. And Bobby Brown, was like,
well, there were legal issues too, and if you
it all came together.
It's all a mess. I heard stories about Bobby Brown, like he was making so much money that when he go to a town, he'd buy a car to drive in that town and leave it in that town instead of renting a car, because he had enough money to just buy the car and just leave it on the road somewhere. Those are the kind of bad decisions that landed Bobby Brown where he is. But the talent, for God's sakes, the talent was there. The talent, the man had talent.
Yeah, woulda, coulda, shoulda, man. That's not what this segment's about. This is about what you did, and that's why.
Based on the body of work, underrated.
Definitely overrated. Hands down. There's no question.
All right.
But
I guess we can leave it there.
But it's so perfect, Lyle, because
there we go.
Talk about the musical drama.
That's right.
What a segue, right?
That's right. This is like professional studio stuff here.
We could do the whole show on this guy. I mean,
yep.
Just as I started looking into it, in 1995, he was with Stephen Seeley when Seeley was targeted in a drive-by shooting. Seeley, Brown's sister's boyfriend, was killed, and Brown was unharmed. So he's had drama in his life for a really long time. Suge Knight was his bodyguard. I thought that was quite interesting. What kind of drama did that bring to his life?
Yeah. Maybe he didn't buy all those cars that he picked up it's from town to town. Maybe just sent Suge Knight in there and say, "Give me a car."
Maybe Suge learned from him.
Could be. I mean, strange, when I found that out, I say, well, I guess that's why he stayed safe.
Maybe. Yeah, but he met Whitney Houston at the Soul Train Music Awards in 1989. She was only 26 and he was 19. I did not know that either. And she invited him to her birthday party. A couple years later, they developed a romance and then got married in 1992. And Bobby Christina was born a year later. And of course, we all know about the infidelity, the domestic violence, the drug use. 2003, Bobby was charged with battery. 2005, they were on a Bravo reality show called Being Bobby Brown, and it was like watching a car accident. 2006, Whitney filed for divorce. 6 years later, she was dead. Bobby was asked to leave her memorial service, so there was a lot of bad blood in the family. But I didn't know that he was diagnosed with ADD and even later diagnosed as bipolar when he was 32. So that might explain some of the problems he was having. And I also didn't know this. He says that Whitney introduced him to the cocaine shortly before their wedding.
Yep.
And her being 26 and him being 19, I can kind of buy that. He said he only smoked marijuana before that. So, they both had enough money. They didn't have to be normal people, and they could have just done whatever they wanted. And it sounds like she might have been driving that bus for a while there.
Yeah.
Hey, I can't knock him for going for the older ladies, man. Especially the 19-year-old girls. I remember in college it was. A 26-year-old awesome vocalist that knows what to do.
Right? Whitney Houston wants you to come to her birthday party and wants to do coke with you.
Right. Yeah,
How do you say no?
Who's gonna turn that down? Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Oh my
but it's
God.
really actually it's a really sweet story, kind of. The BET Awards where they met. I heard the story about when Bobby Brown met her. Whitney Houston used to get a lot of slack about not a lot of flack, sorry, about not being soulful enough. Her singing voice, her
Oh.
performance. It was so it I was a kid back then, and when I would hear people say she wasn't soulful, she couldn't really sing, I was like, "The hell are you talking about?" It's Whitney Houston. Of course,
Yeah.
that sounds crazy now, but back in the '80s, it was a lot of great singers. Long story short, Bobby sees her at the awards, and they're booing her. And this is the BET Awards. It's a
She
room
got
full of
booed?
black people, and they booed her because they felt a more soulful singer should win. There's a lot of and
Wow.
so Bobby leans up and says, "Don't worry about them people. You cold. You cold. Don't worry about them."
Aw.
And he meant it. And he said that when he said that, he wasn't trying to come, pick her up. He really meant it, and she remembered that. And
Oh,
I think
that's
that's how
sweet.
when they first met. I think that was the story.
Aw. And then it
Yeah,
turned out the way it did.
yeah. I mean, it's messed up. Bobby Brown. I mean, you have to consider a lot of things. It's crazy, and they put this reality show out on TV, but he's been through a lot in his life.
Yeah,
Like he
no
started
kidding.
as a professional artist at the age of 13. Then he
It's tough
lost
when
his
you start
wife.
that early.
Right. And then all this other stuff happened. There's all this pressure on him. He's taking care of like 70 people. He's in his 20s. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then he
And
marries
he's
a
buying
star.
cars everywhere he goes. Like, I feel
Right.
like you're trying to bring in
Yeah.
the other segment, and this is all excuses.
No.
Come on,
This
man.
is
Come
it's
Don't
on.
try to
musical
change
drama.
your
No,
mind,
it's
Dave.
musical drama. But I'm
Isn't
saying
it?
that the other part of that drama is uh, uh, him and Whitney. He and Whitney Houston were really in love, and he lost her. She died, and then a year after that, his daughter that he had with Whitney Houston died.
He's the
So
bad
he's still
guy.
going
Most
through
people
this.
think that he's the bad guy, but
Right.
doesn't sound like they know the whole story. And there's always more to the story than what the media puts out there. We all know how that goes.
Yep.
I mean, they even talked about he got kidnapped by a street gang called the Preacher Crew because he owed them 25 grand in 1993, and Whitney paid $400,000 ransom to them to get him back. And
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. So he was kidnapped. He
Uh-huh.
was kidnapped because he owed them 25 grand
Yep.
for drugs, and then Whitney pays $400,000 to get him
Yep.
back.
Yep.
So was she like, okay, here's the money, give me Bobby and whatever's in that bag over there? What the hell? What was the extra 375 grand for?
I don't know.
I was coming there to pick up some dope anyway. I might as well get Bobby too.
Right?
Is that what happened?
I don't know.
Oh God! All right. Yeah. Well,
That's just,
I'll try to redeem.
we'll never
What do you
know.
want?
We'll never know. I mean, I can't even read his whole rap sheet. It's so long from 1990 up until his lady had a DUI in 2012. So, since then, since Whitney's gone, he has remarried. He's got a couple daughters with the new wife, but hopefully he's happy. And he's, it gives me a little, like, having only watched the news and not known anything about this guy, it gives me a little more compassion for him, that what he's actually had to deal with in his life. And who can judge? Who am I to judge anybody? So, I'll give him a pass.
For God's sakes, Bobby.
No. We'll give him a pass on all of the personal stuff, but he's definitely
he's still underrated.
He's definitely overrated on the music side.
He's underrated.
Overrated.
All right.
Tenderoni.
Hey,
Tenderoni.
Lyle, I lost
Okay.
our next intro, so I'll do it. We got a segment that we haven't done in a few weeks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The soul lives on. Who are we doing this week, Lyle?
This week we're going to talk about Chadwick Boseman, who died on Friday night. He was suffering from colon cancer. Apparently, he was diagnosed in 2016, stage 3 at that time. And then he found out, I believe in 18, that he was terminal. But in those 4 years, he made 5 big films, and he regularly visited St. Jude's Memorial Hospital, which is a hospital that is especially a pediatric hospital for children who are suffering from cancer. And nobody knew about his diagnosis, but he kept on working. And the movies that he made, what's not said a lot about the films that Chadwick did. Now, first of all, the guy gets sick and he pushes ahead with his career. But the films that he made, the commonality of Get On Up, and Marshall, and even Black Panther, where these were Black heroes. These were images that he could put on the screen and leave behind that would be a positive influence on children and everybody coming up who sees those films. So he created that legacy, knowing what his fate would be. And instead of going for some big bucks, or I want to be the star of this movie, or I always wanted to work with Stallone, he wanted to leave stories here that would make a difference in people's lives. And so I think that he deserves a lot of praise for that. He's not a musician, but he played James Brown, so that's close enough.
That's close enough. Yeah, that's mind-blowing, Lyle. I did not know that when you told me that. It's just that, we all said, what the hell would we do if we knew we had only a couple years to live? And this guy took it upon himself to leave a legacy behind and didn't think about himself. He thought about the people that were going to be left when he was gone, and he was only 43. So, I mean, talk about character and integrity. Wow.
I mean, he knew what the value was of Black Panther showing up to St. Jude and those kids seeing him. He knew what that would do, and he was going through the same thing that they were going through.
Wow, so sad.
Yep.
But I can't wait to see the movie on his life, though. That's going to be a cool movie.
Yeah, and apparently, he just did Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. It's actually I want to say that's an August Wilson play from Broadway, and it's going to be a film on Netflix. So that's his posthumous performance. Okay. That's coming up soon.
Wow, he was such a good actor too.
Yeah, he was a fantastic actor. Yep. So
once again, you just never know what people are dealing with behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Here's to Chadwick.
And also, it's a lesson to artists. Every day, you push every day like it's your last day.
Mm-hmm.
You do every show like it's your last show, because you never know when it's going to be. And even if you know when it's going to be, you still do it like it's the last one. Dave goes off.
All right. It has to be somebody's favorite time right now. I don't know if it's mine, but it's time for Dave Goes Off. And today, this one sort of came to me randomly because we were getting ready for the show. And I told Lyle, like, I'm almost out of data. And I'm really not out of data on my phone. That's not what this is about. I'm out of data on my home mobile cable internet.
How is that possible?
How is that possible? Right. You have 1.2 terabytes. Somehow I'm out. So let me get started on Comcast. They're a great company. They're really helping everyone out here. So during the COVID thing, they were like, no overcharging because everyone's going to be on the internet, and oh, thank you so much. That was amazing. So right before school starts this year, like, oh, no, now overages come back in. So I don't know if you guys know anything about video stuff, but video stuff takes up tons and tons and tons of gigs. And then I started teaching school, so I'm online all day. And then I'm uploading or downloading video stuff sometimes at night. And then it's like August 20th, and I'm getting a notice like, you're almost out of data. And then the overage charges, come on, they're not even... It's like $50 for 100 gigs, and then they max out. Right. It's just insane. It's insane. And I'm a teacher, and come on, Comcast. You should automatically give teachers, students, unlimited. And come on, is it really costing you that much? You're already setting up your thing. I don't see the big deal. Come on, teachers should automatically be able to get unlimited data to be able to teach the kids. It's already difficult. Like, I got kids crying because this isn't working. And then maybe I have too much stuff going on, right? We got the band stuff. We got the teaching. And
but everything's going online now. So what the hell? It's like when cell phones, we got, they used to charge us per minute on cell phones. I mean, you wouldn't take a call from a telemarketer because you're like, you're using my minutes.
Right. Yeah, I remember that. And this is just as bad as selling like a $20 mask to somebody. Oh. You know that everybody's teaching right now. You know that everybody's working remotely. Why in the hell would you do this to them?
Exactly. And
it's not right.
And I don't even do gaming. It's just all this video stuff.
Nonsense.
Right. And yes, I used a lot of data, but come on, I shouldn't have to worry about that. That should be the least of my worries in this situation.
Yeah.
But
data isn't stuff. You can't put it in a bag. What
I know, you're not like draining their bucket
We're
of
almost
data.
out of data.
Like they don't, yeah, I know, right? Better cut Dave off. He's going to use all our data.
He has to get a business account. This isn't going to work out very nice.
Oh my God.
Right, and I have 0 kids. Like there's nobody else
Yeah,
at
no one
all
else in your
streaming in my
Right.
house, so there's nobody else to like blame. Like it's definitely one of my like 18 devices that. But I already know what's taking it up. But like we said, like Lyle and I just bought this 5 terabyte drive, and then we recorded 3 shows, and then I backed up my laptop on another drive because that's just being smart, you know. It's like having money in the savings bank, right?
Yeah.
You got to have it. So, and then already 2 terabytes of that are gone. Right,
How big is a terabyte? Like, is it like 100 million?
1,000 gigs, pretty much.
Yep.
Wow.
I think it's a trillion bytes. I think it's a trillion bytes. It's
I can't even like
byte,
understand
megabyte.
Yeah. It's like 1,012 megabytes.
Right.
Is it terabyte? So you get 1,200 terabytes. So yes, I'm not saying
trillion.
Comcast isn't giving you a ton,
That's a lot.
but I really want to know like how much more people use than that. Like if I didn't have to start dropping down all the stuff I was doing, I was nervous I was going to be able to get up the last show just because I was like, ooh, I don't know how many gigs this is going to end up running. Right. So I'm just barely there. We'll find out how much today ends up going. But this new month just started a few days ago, so I'm looking.
So you're
good.
all right.
So, right. So happy birthday, and it's sad. I shouldn't even have to worry about that. Come on. Oh man.
All right. So next segment is music in the movies. We skipped that one.
Oh. That's right. I went from Boseman.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, I was
That's
excited.
all right.
It's all right.
That's why I'm. Yeah.
We're
Cool.
moving. So, all right, music in the movies. Okay, here's a new segment. So I just want to talk about music in the movies. There are a lot of movies out there that have been either biographies about people or fictional musicals or musicals. But I like to talk about the 5 Heartbeats because it's probably one of my favorite of that genre. It's just a classic. It's just, in the 90s, I was in an a cappella group, and it was all about harmony. And we always looked up to the Temptations, and, you try to do the dance moves and stuff. And the 5 Heartbeats are about a fictional band that came up I think they started in the early 60s in that show. And it basically talks about the typical experience of a black band that was coming up in that time, and it follows them all the way up into present day. But it's just a very, very good drama. Some fantastic actors in it. I think it was Robert Townsend's, I want to say, 2nd or 3rd movie that he paid for a lot by himself. Like, he talks about how the curtains in the window in one of the scenes are like, those are his curtains. But he had all these fantastic actors in it. Diane Carroll is in it. The 5 Heartbeats are actually Robert Townsend, Leon from the Temptations movie. He played David Ruffin. He was actually also Jesus in Madonna's Like a Prayer.
That's where I
video.
remember him from. Yeah.
That was, I think, his first acting gig or major acting gig.
That video when that came out was like, what am I watching? It was so controversial at the time.
Yep.
Now people wouldn't even blink.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but I remember seeing that, and I was like, this was in the 80s.
Yeah.
Then you got Harry Lennox. Harry Lennox is on. He's on a show now, but he's done a lot of work in Chicago. Great actor, done a ton of stuff. Let's see, that's 4 guys. Tico Wells. No, wait. Michael Wright was in it. Now, Michael Wright is probably one of the most underrated actors in Hollywood. You've seen him, but you don't know who he is. He was on Oz, the show that was about prison.
Yeah.
He was in this film Sugar Hill. Gosh, I
saw that one.
Yeah, he was in Sugar Hill. He played Wesley Snipes' brother in Sugar Hill.
That's a good movie.
But in the 5 Heartbeats, this was his best work by far. He plays the lead singer, and he basically is playing David Ruffin. Like, the movie's based on a bunch of different groups, but he's the David Ruffin of the group.
Do you know if these guys were actually singing? That's always something I like to know about when they're musical movies. And then
I met Harry one time, and I asked him about it. It's actually the Dells doing the singing. And he said there were some actors that were singing as the Heartbeats, but the lead voice was the lead singer of the Dells, Marvin Jr.
Okay.
And it's really funny because Michael Wright is probably 130 pounds, and the guy Marvin Jr. is like 400 pounds, and it's all voice. So he will be lip syncing. It's like, wow, this big voice.
Yeah, trying to buy it.
Like, but somehow he made it work. And then Tico Wells was also in it. Tico Wells played he played Choir Boy in the Five Heartbeats. And I believe his last gig was actually the voice of Bobby Brown on Family Guy.
There you go. Another connection.
All comes together. And don't forget about, here's a cameo in that movie that I didn't, when I saw the movie, I didn't even realize it. Harold Nicholas. If you know who that is, you know who I'm talking about. But Harold Nicholas was half of the Nicholas Brothers dance troupe. These guys came up in, I want to say, the 30s and 40s. And they were the most amazing dance team that I've ever seen. There is a film called, I think it's Stormy Weather is the film. But if you look up Jumpin' Jive with Cab Calloway and the Nicholas Brothers, you will see the most amazing 3 minutes of dance you've ever seen in your life. And they did this thing in one take. You got to see it. These guys are jumping over pianos, splitting, landing over each other, jumping down flights of stairs. Just watch the video. Harold Nicholas, probably 65, 70 years old in this film, plays their choreographer and can still dance. It's unbelievable. Wow. But it's a great film.
You've told me about that video before, even before we started talking about this movie. And I remember it now that I looked at it again. I'm like, oh, that's who you're talking about. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
They are badass dancers, man. You said you've taken some notes from watching them perform too.
Whenever
all you
guys,
people out there asking about
jump off the
Lyles,
stage, into a split.
Don't do that again.
Well,
you scared me.
Me too. Yeah. I mean, the Nicholas brothers, they were under 30 when they were doing that stuff.
Oh,
and I'm
God.
like, hey, they did it. I can do it. No,
well, yeah, but but still.
But yeah.
But yeah, when every time I talk to people and they're like, how does he move like that? I'm going to tell them, just look up the Nicholas brothers.
Yep. Yeah, then they'll say, "Oh, that guy's not moving. He's quadriplegic compared to the Nicholas brothers."
Compared to them, right? So yeah, you guys are looking for some binge watching. Probably burn through a finished Netflix, as they say.
Yeah,
you might want to look up this movie. There's a cool app called Just Watch, and any movie that you want to see, like you've heard of an old movie, like I want to go watch The Breakfast Club or something. I want to see where it's playing. If you go to this app, it's free. You can put in any movie and it'll tell you all the places that it's playing and if it's free or it's streaming or if it's $2.99 or whatever. So check it out. It's called Just Watch. I thought that was a really good recommendation I got from somebody in this time where you're trying to spend a lot of time on TV.
All right.
Yeah, so we just want to say hello to all the people that have joined us online. Thank you, you guys. We're picking up steam and a lot of people are finding us now. So make sure you share and invite your buddies and join us and get together on Zoom and watch us together. That's the best thing we can do right now and try to entertain you all as best we can. So
and we got nice little snippets that you could send out to your friends too of each of our segments. So make sure that you like some of those because over underrated is definitely we snip it out and then even though it sort of goes through the whole show. But all the videos coming out, like we said before, YouTube, definitely try to subscribe there just because it's like starting from scratch a little bit, but we have so many people on Facebook that I'm not too worried about it, and this is so entertaining, it's unbelievable. Yeah, we got hats on and everything.
That's your birthday hats, right?
Birthday hats.
Well, it's your birthday hat. Right. The boss lady rings again. It's perfect.
Sing to me, boys. Dave, I want to hear you sing.
This is you know what? I better not do it because
right. We're gonna get dinged, and then it's gonna get taken down. You're gonna have to look at Dave Goes Off like a few weeks ago because there was a whole thing about copyright. Right. Come on.
Well, I'm gonna go refill my glass. Thank you for joining me on my birthday, you guys. Love you, and we will see you all next week, huh?
See you next week.